veterans! Welcome back to the new show. We don't have any announcements today, but
remember to wear best dress on Monday for Veterans Day.
On to the new show. How long were you in the military?
I served for 4.5 years.
And what did you do?
I was a nuclear missile operator. So I was one of the guys that sat in the big bunkers waiting to end the world. We were in charge of a couple hundred nuclear weapons and just sat there and waited to see if we were going to launch them or not.
And why did you want to be in the military?
For me, it was honestly like I always was envious of the people who had family who had served, and my grandpa served a little bit in I believe in the North Korean War, training dogs. But I knew a lot of families that had a whole lot of history, and I was always a little envious of them. And I wanted to have something to pass on to my kids of a little bit of a military heritage. I feel like serving was kind of a way for me to give back, because the goal of being in the military is to make sure that everybody else doesn't have to think about the things you think about. So as I sat down there wondering if we were going to end the world and launch off and go to war and all these things, I knew that because I was sitting there, other people didn't have to worry about that, and they could just go on with their lives. They could go to work, go to school, play, have fun, and they wouldn't have to necessarily think about the bad guys that are out there that want to kill us, because I was doing that job for them.
That's awesome. Thank you.
My dad's first cousin served in World War II, and I always called him Uncle because we were really close. He was a bomb sweeper, which were the ones who went out there after they were buried, the bombs were buried. He would go find them, and one blew up on his hand, and he lost the tips of 2 fingers. And it left him really angry towards a lot of people. But we want to, thank all the veterans out there who risked their lives for our freedoms. Thank you.
I have a brother who's 2 years older than myself, who served as a pilot in the Air National Guard. He served in the Desert Storm when the first big issue in the Middle East that we had back in 1990s. And he eventually came back, and they made him a general in the Air National Guard. He almost made me salute him every time I saw him. So, my brother was a little bit carried away with his officer position. But he had a deep respect for this country and what it stands for. He stayed in the military for about 10 years as a general, and then about 3-4 years ago he retired. And he lives in St. George today, and every time he sees the flag or we pledge allegiance to the flag, he is very, very serious about what it stands for. And it's kind of passed on to me. So I appreciate this country and what it means a little more because of my brother, who I often have to salute, General Brent Wingate. My father was in the military too. He fought in the Second World War, and he was in the Japan right after the bombs were dropped in Nagasaki. So my father, who passed away last year, has also passed on a lot of that great respect for our country. And thank you for the chance to say a few things.
Going to Disney World October 3rd, so if you want to come on down, come on down.
I'm going to Disney World October 3rd, so if you want to come on down, come on down.
Chickens. Look at all those chickens. Look at it's freaking bats. I love Halloween.
Look it, it's freaking bats.
I love Halloween.